Hello once again, everybody. Welcome to Soccer's Overtime, your weekly look inside the San Diego Sockers and the Major Arena Soccer League. We are live on Twitch once again, coming to you worldwide from our Twitch channel at San Diego Sockers. Craig Elston, Jerry Jimenez here with you. Season 5, Episode 9 of Soccer's Overtime. And Jerry, I titled this one, Got Your Six, because not only do we have the back of all of our great indoor soccer fans around the country and around the world, but the Sockers got their six out of 6 points against Dallas last weekend. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. Good to be back. What a fun game that was this weekend, and both games were actually were great. I think there was a lot of really good MASL action that we're going to get into. I'm excited to talk about. But yeah, I mean, again, what else can you ask for, right? 6 out of 6. That's what you want to do. That 1 point, man, still bothers me. That one dropped point, but I mean, I guess I can't let it bother me too much. But this is just us being overachievers, Craig. That's what we do around here in the Sockers organization and part of the club. Being a part of the club, you just become an overachiever just naturally, right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to give up anything. And we're so excited to have you here along for the ride for the MASL's preeminent live Twitch broadcast, Soccer's Overtime. On tonight's show, we look back at those 6 points gained in 24 hours. Sockers sweep the thing that should never happen, a Texas-California home-and-home weekend match. Our special guest, Erik Bergrud, will be our guest. Man, Erik's like the village bicycle. Everyone's giving him a ride this week. Erik, who's fresh off of...
He's in the chat. He's asking about commands. No, Erik, we haven't gotten that far yet. We're not as advanced. It's literally just me trying to figure out how this all works. So if you have some input or somebody that can help me out with commands, actually, I'll put that out there. If anybody can help me out with some commands, let's do it. I think it'll be awesome. So, yeah.
But we could just help you out. I mean, you know, we could all use a little help. It's, I feel you. Erik's going to be here. We're going to talk about Kansas City coming to town, an East-West showdown, and how many cards are we going to see this time between the Sockers and the Comets. There was another game on Sunday, not just the Sockers match, there was the media game as well, already becoming the stuff of legends. We will talk about it. And from watch parties to bus trips to pet adoptions, we've got a lot to cover in Sockers news. That'll be wrapping up Sockers and MASL news to close the show right here on Sockers Overtime. We're live on Twitch. We're on replay on Twitch. And we also thank everyone who follows us here on our Twitch channel. They're getting those alerts when we go live for Sockers Overtime or for some Sockers 2 matches like we'll have once again this coming Sunday. But hey, all the love as well to everybody watching our replay on our YouTube channel at San Diego Sockers, and even to all y'all listening on the podcast coming out the next morning right there, Sockers Overtime. However, wherever you consume the show, we're thrilled that you made us part of your content consumption choice for this week. All right, Jerry, we got a lot to get to. We got 2 games to recap. That's always a little bit extra tough. And seeing as they're both wins and kind of easy wins, I guess we'll have a little less to glom on to. But let's dig in to what happened over the weekend. Let's start off with the game action. And Saturday night, Sockers taking on the Dallas Sidekicks from the newly rebranded Credit Union of Texas Event Center. As Bobby Cressy's Beyond the South Bay official theme song of Sockers Overtime drifts to a conclusion.
The timing's so good.
Love it.
And also, shout out to Bobby, because, man, what a great performance he had also this past weekend. So maybe we can talk about him and throw that in there too in the conversation. But all right, here we go. Let's do this.
All right. Yeah, Sockers at Dallas. Sidekicks wearing purple throwback uniforms. And, I put together all the different stats, Jerry, for our press notes. And the one stat, when I did my research, that I didn't want to share, I will share now, which is that the Sockers had never lost to this modern Dallas Sidekick team wearing green. The only times they had ever lost to the Sidekicks were when they were dressed in purple, going back to 2013 and to 2015. And you thought, who cares, right? And then here come the Sidekicks with a 3-0 first quarter to put San Diego at least, forcing themselves to get up off the canvas once.
Yeah, for sure. And you saw there one of the Dallas players, I forget his name right now, but doing the gritty on us. Like, it was a tough start there for San Diego for sure. I did not know that stat, Craig. That is the kind of stats that we definitely don't want to talk about on the air, though. So I appreciate you.
Yeah,
not
see, that's
saying
why
that.
I didn't want to tell you.
No, don't put that out into the universe. We don't need that. Who's this guy?
Exactly.
Sorry.
Nice
awesome.
Flag. I like it. Hey, the supporter culture comes in different forms. So, yeah, Dallas comes out. Sockers, 3 weeks off. Rusty is an old tin can left out in the rain. They give up 2 different set-piece goals where, the coverage was not great. And then on their heels, you saw Dallas press, and we'll see that highlight coming up for everybody who's watching the highlights with us here on our Twitch show, that as usual, Juan Gamboa playing well, but all of a sudden have to take a penalty, get in a tough spot there. Leo going for an all-or-nothing tackle. When he misses the ball, he has to bring down the man. That leads to a shootout, and it leads to the first of 2 very sexy Jamie Lovegrove goals this weekend. Jamie only scored twice, once per match, but each one was a thing of beauty, including this nasty little fake just to put Boris completely out of the play.
Yeah, and, I mean, Jamie Lovegrove is one of those players I really can't hate on too much. I really appreciate him as a person. He's a great human being, and also he's a fantastic player. He's one of the guys that I maybe wish he would have stayed a little bit longer with us, but he's doing great for Dallas, as we all know. And there's that beautiful goal, man. I mean, there's not much that Boris could have done to save that one. And I mean, these kids, they stand out, and we see a lot of people in the chat too talking about it. Purple was a nice change up. Yeah, I liked it too. I like that purple.
Yeah, another team has a purple accent, and they don't go all the way purple. They stay more charcoal than purple, and it hasn't worked out quite as well. But the Sockers do get back in it in the second quarter. First quarter's 3-0 Dallas. Everyone's excited. Then this beautiful set piece, and it started with a defensive clearance mistake, right? Dallas makes a mistake. Sockers make him pay with a perfectly drawn-up set piece. And the biggest key, Tavoy Morgan at the end of it, Jerry. This was the first goal in 3 matches for Tavoy Morgan.
Yeah, it was time for him to get things going, and we saw him definitely step it up this game. I think that you guys talked about it on the broadcast, right? Tavoy Morgan hasn't really done much at home, but on the road, he's a road warrior, man. This guy, shows up to games a little different, or I don't know what it is about Pechanga Arena for Tavoy, at least so far this season. But, I think that the goal is coming at Pechanga for him. But this one, well-positioned, Charlie shot. I think it would have gone in anyways, and we've had a couple of those, I think, those types of goals, but it was good to have him there. And like I have said many a times before, we don't take chances, make sure that ball is going in, and he did. And sure enough, the second goal comes in, none other than Mr. Tavoy Morgan.
And that goal was in part due to a challenge by Phil Salvaggio. Leo was brought down outside the crease. A free kick was awarded, and Phil dropped the challenge flag, and it was upgraded to a blue card. Sockers did not score on their set piece. They did score on the power play. They scored toward the end of the power play to make it 3-2. So a very successful challenge there for Phil Salvaggio and the Sockers. And now, once you see San Diego get back-to-back goals, now the team's legs are under them, and the next thing you see is San Diego taking advantage, coming back to tie the score, and then eventually on a giveaway, getting the lead before the half was up.
Yeah, it was like I said, tough first quarter. I think we all were feeling a little bit like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? And I was almost thinking, you know what, if the second quarter doesn't go any better than this, we just have to get to the half, and Phil needs to say something to these guys to make something change, because what I've come to find out is the Sockers are so much better in the third quarter than any other quarter. Like, it just seems like after that little break in between, either Phil says something or one of the leaders says something, one of the captains, something happens. But in the third quarter, we step it up. But no, it didn't take that long. We went into the second quarter. I think they knew something was wrong. They adjusted. And then we have, again, hey, happy birthday, Mitchell Cardenas. Mitchell Cardenas scoring that third goal and bringing us even. And then, like you said, eventually bringing it up to the 4-3 for the first lead of the game.
Yeah, it happened so quickly. I remember I was busy clipping the Cardenas goal on Twitch using that highlight function to get the clips out to our teammates. And then you see it's just seconds later that the ball is essentially given away and giving Brandon Escoto a chance to come right on in and take care of business himself. Oh, my goodness. Come on. That's the typical type of – you'd figure that first shot would have been the one for Brandon. Left and right and back and forth and all of his skill on display. No, that shot winds up missing, and it's the kind of just ugly spill of the ball from Dallas's standpoint here in the box. Get it right back. Take it away. Candy from a baby at that point for Brandon Escoto. And then, honestly, they didn't have to play the second half, as far as I was concerned. At that point, this match was over. The Sockers have such a talent edge on this current version of the Dallas Sidekicks. Dallas came out in that first quarter, used high pressure effectively. In the third quarter, they came out, used high pressure. Sockers withstood it, withstood the energy, let them tire themselves out. And then what happened? They wound up getting on a run of 7 consecutive goals before the Sidekicks sneak one in there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, after that, Dallas was really broken, and it was really tough for them to just manage anything at all. The Sockers completely dominated, and you saw really what we were, I think, all expecting to see. That first quarter was such an anomaly, but again, you have Tavoy Morgan doing Tavoy Morgan things, gets his hat trick. And honestly, could have been 4 or 5 for Tavoy. I feel like at least 4 on this game. And if it wasn't for Gamboa, I think it could have been a lot more. They have a great thing going in Dallas. I know right now, and it's difficult to say that because the score, their record so far doesn't really reflect how good I think Dallas could be and is probably going to be. But as we remember last year, I mean, Dallas had to do some changes, some major changes for them to step it up. And I think that for Dallas fans, I'm sure they were expecting a lot more from this season, especially in the beginning of it. But, Mesquite taking some players and just it's not exactly the same. And just San Diego took advantage of very many little mistakes, and we made them pay for it.
Yeah, San Diego's experience always shows out as a game like this goes on. And I noticed in the chat, too, someone saying, and it's true, a lot of Walla scorers over the course of the weekend. That's a Sockers team that's looking out for one another. This year that we're just watching a classic pairing between Leo and Craig Childs, to pick up the goal. Teammates passing to one another, back post tap-ins. Those are the ways to really get an offense unlocked. And the Sockers had that against, the worst defensive team maybe in the league. I guess Utica could give them a run for their money in terms of goals allowed. But especially as the game goes on, you start to see here 3v2s, 2v1s, just wide open guys, fatigue taking its toll on Dallas within the course of the match. And hey, I like it when the team, which they do often, Jerry, wraps it up TJ style. And that's something we saw. Christian Gutierrez getting late goals. Brandon Escoto getting late goals. Gerardo Jurado picking up an assist. I think it's the athleticism of our Tijuana players that comes out to the end when the other team is pressing, when the other team is trying to push up the field. That's when our counterattack seems to be the most potent.
Yeah, I love to see that. And also love to see Leo getting a goal in for that 7-3 against Dallas. I think Leo is one of those deserving players. Once in a while, he needs a goal too. I mean, he's an assist master. We know that. He's a pass master. And I just loved seeing him score that goal. And that celebration was great as well. It was definitely it was a move forward for the Sockers. I think that in this game, there was confidence built, and I think we've needed that. All of our games have been so much closer so far, a little bit more difficult. And against Dallas, I think we really build up that confidence a bit more. Maybe against an easier team, yes. But I could see it in the guys. They felt good. And there you see Felipe scoring that goal. And man, you know what? You come on this podcast, the next game, you're destined to score some goals, man. It's going to happen.
I think so. I think it's true. In fact, I think Erik Bergrud should petition for there to be a media game at the next Kansas City Comets home game, because he would definitely pot a goal or two with this upcoming appearance here on Soccer's Overtime. It's just the only people who don't score are people who don't have the opportunity, like front office executives, other broadcasters, etc.
Yeah, I know. It's it's one of those things, right? I was actually even thinking, man, if we don't have enough people in this game, I'm just gonna jump in there. But I'm glad I didn't have to. I'm just so out of shape, and I mean everybody else there clearly in the media game was super in shape and ready to go. So I just didn't want to be that one out of shape guy playing. But hey, Eric, if you're he said in the chat, I'm not sure Nick Vassos would draft me.
Oh,
wow! Ouch.
Well, does Nick draft both teams? Maybe you could curry favor with the other team, and then try and score on Nick. I think that's the way to go there. Yeah, fun night. Sockers pull it out. Hey, down 3-0. Give the league some fun. Let everyone get excited for a second. Holy cow! And then Sockers drop the hammer, take care of business. The game from that point on was 9-1 is how things wrapped up after 0-3 to start things off. So, one win in the books, and then a very, very long night. And for the team and for Paul Savage, because that game started at 7 o'clock Dallas time. So, wrapped up, guys take their showers. They get out of Credit Union of Texas event center around 10 o'clock local time. There was a team dinner that Paul arranged at a restaurant, so the team goes out to have dinner. They get back to the hotel around 11:30. Guys get into their rooms, but then Paul is going room to room, taking care of everyone's individual needs in terms of what they need for recovery, right? Making sure that the right people get the recovery boots and making sure that the guys who need treatment with the the X5, the electroshock thing that helps relax the muscles, that those people get what they need. And that continues until about 2 a.m., all the while he's running the laundry from the match, because you're not going to put 2 stinky bags of. By the way, if you want to ruin a team's uniforms, that's what you would do. Throw them all in a duffel bag and fly them back to California. They'll never not stink for the rest of time. You have to do that washing right away. So Paul winds up staying up all night long because the team had to be in their vans driving from Allen to Love Field, which is just south of Dallas, by 5:30 a.m. Dallas time, which is 3:30 a.m. our time, to get on an 8:30 a.m. Dallas flight to get back to land in San Diego at 10:30 a.m. And then the club, as of course they get through all the luggage and the baggage claim and whatnot. Oh,
Marlisha.
Marlisha, that's terrible.
That's
gross. Just terrible. No, we would not auction the stinky kits for more money.
Scented kits.
Scented, yeah, scented indeed. There's a scent, all right.
Yeah.
It's called bacteria. It's growing inside the bag minute by minute. So, yeah, as the team goes to Phil's Beach House and has like maybe 4 hours to decompress and take a nap, Paul goes right to the arena, sets up the locker room, hauls in all the stuff. Everything doesn't walk itself into the arena. It's all got to be hauled in, and he hauled in everything, got everything set up, and basically worked from early morning Saturday to the end of the night Sunday with a grand total of like 2 hours sleep on the plane. Just MVP effort.
He's a legend, and I got to talk to him right before the game. Actually, during the M2 game, he was there getting everything ready, and you could see it in his face. He was tired, and I said, "Hey, Paul, how are you?" He's like, "I'm exhausted." Maybe he didn't say those words. There was like a word that started with an F that started right before that one. And you could tell like he was very, very tired, but he was there and getting everything ready. And yeah, I mean, he's a monster. He's a legend. If it wasn't for him, there's so many things that would be different with this team. I think he's a major part of the reason that this team is a winning organization. Everything that he does, the lack of sleep. He was telling me, he showed me actually on his app after the game. He's like, "Look, this is how you do it." And then he showed me he only slept for about an hour and then just kept things going. Because he knew that those things need to get done. So, yeah, kudos to Paul. I think we gave him some, a lot of love last game, but we do it again this one, and we'll continue to do it probably forever as long as Paul will let us and won't stop us from talking about him. But he's just such a huge part of this team, and so thank you, Paul. Hope you're listening.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we don't even have that second game or a chance without Paul. It's 5:26. What do you think? I know we've got this second game to get through. Should we just kind of buzz through it real quick?
Yeah, let's do that because Erik still hasn't come into. Oh, there he is. Never mind. Yeah, I mean we can go through it. Whatever you want to do.
Let's just buzz through it real fast. We got Erik on standby. He's been hanging in the chat. We appreciate him. Sockers come home against Dallas 1 hour later, 6:05. We're going to talk more after the interview about all the things that I think we're really, really, really proud of from that match off the floor. From the kits to Bobby to Hispanic Heritage Night, all the things that happened. There was a lot to be proud of from Sunday's game. Right now we're just talking about on the field. So clubs take the floor, 6:05 kickoff, and right away you could see it, Jerry. You could see it from the top row of the north side of the sports arena. Heavy legs everywhere you looked. Everyone looked a step slow. Everyone looked ragged. And when you have matches like that, and we talked about it on the air, you immediately shave 4 or 5 goals off the final total because guys just don't have the finish that they would have when they feel sharp. Now, look good, play good. Teams never looked better than they looked on Sunday night. I will say that.
Yeah, man, they looked great, and it was a great contrast too with the white kits for the Dallas War. But yeah, I think I expected this one to be a low-scoring game, but it was not to be. It was a great game, but I was not expecting that at all. And who other than our model of the third kit, Gerardo Jurado, my tocayo, to score that first goal, a few minutes into the first half, or first quarter, sorry.
I mean, it felt like kismet, didn't it? Here's Jurado, hadn't scored a goal all year long. His fellow Tijuanense, Christian Gutierrez, does all the work to set him up. A TJ to TJ goal, cross-border kit, perfectly being demonstrated. Tijuana players scoring in San Diego to help the Sockers win. And, you just can't say enough about the impact Christian Gutierrez makes on the game. He wins the ball. He wall passes to himself. He beats two men, takes two of them out of the play, and sets up his teammate to score.
Nate said it greatly. Like, he said it really well in the broadcast. It was all Christian Gutierrez in this goal. He got that ball past the defender and over to Gerardo Jurado, just perfectly placed, and Gerardo just took advantage of it. And now as I was thinking about it, you saw that celebration where Jurado crosses his arms. It's a cross-border kick, crossed arm celebration. I love that. There's so many connections here, but it was great to see that Tijuana connection for the first goal, especially for this game. And Christian Gutierrez, man, just continues to be golden.
Well, speaking of golden, Jamie Lovegrove, we just saw it on the highlight run.
That goal.
One of the goals of the year. One of the absolute goals of the MASL history. One look, and even with the back line of the Front Wave Credit Union logo from 3/4 field, this ball has to be simultaneously struck hard enough, right, to get over the head of Boris Pardo. It has to be struck low enough to not hit the scoreboard or hit the top glass, and it has to have a right-to-left swerve to create the dipping action that'll bring it down under the crossbar. All of those things happened, and having said all of that, Jerry, I know now from Boris and from the defenders, everyone knows Boris thought that ball was going to hit the glass. He didn't go full bore to try and get in and jump and stop that shot, because he was fooled by the quality of the Lovegrove shot. Who couldn't be? It was one of the best shots you'll ever see.
Yeah, I mean, that was just perfectly placed. He only took one look, and he just placed it perfectly. And I think also, kudos to Boris Pardo for accepting what a great goal it was. I mean, I think he clapped for him right after. And I asked him after the game, too. I said, Boris, what happened? He's like, dude, that was just a great shot. It's a great goal. What am I going to say? I was tuned forward, and he placed it perfectly. And so Boris was that's how you know when, these guys have respect for each other and when they're professionals, is when they make comments like that. Like, they understand, they know. And he knew, like, there's a possibility that I'm going to be the goalkeeper on SportsCenter that's getting scored on by this beautiful goal, and he's probably okay with it. It's just a beautifully played shot. And again, Lovegrove, I can't hate on him, man. Like, I just can't. What a great shot. And I don't think it made SportsCenter, but it should have, because what a goal.
Yeah, that gets me. Come on, let's go, MASL. Get that stuff on SportsCenter. I saw this brought up in the chat as well, and it's very true. Soccer's not clicking on the power play yet. They went 1 for 3 this weekend. They're 3 for 10 on the year. They started 2 for 2, so they're 1 for 8 since, and it just seems like there's something missing right now for the San Diego power play. You don't expect to be perfect all the time, unless you're maybe San Diego. Then maybe you do expect to be perfect all the time. But that's one thing right now I think could pick up for this club.
There's some indecision there that I keep seeing in the power play, Craig, where there is some open spaces, and that slight hesitation, as we know in indoor, can kill you. And there's a slight hesitation to shoot, and instead the defense gets back in place, and so you have to get the ball to the left or the right of you, and you lose that shot, and that just keeps happening. And not enough shots are being taken during our power plays, to be honest. I don't think that we're taking shots at the goal as much as we should. It's just a lot of passing back and forth to try to find that perfect shot. We know there's no such thing as waiting for that, especially on a power play. You just have to take your chances and shoot, and that has not been happening as far as I can see.
Couldn't agree more. Piedra and the sidekicks convert their power play that came late in the second quarter and tie things up 2-2. And then who else, of course, but coming up in the highlight reel, the captain, Craig Childs, finding himself on the back post, Guerrero Pino finding him, and just the squat and pop right there. Bang. Got down low, got that head around, and making it look easy to knock that in to give the Sockers a lead that, of course, they would never relinquish the rest of the night.
I want to know what Craig told, was it, I think it was Churras, right? Right after that goal. He said something to him as he's holding his, putting his arm around his shoulder, and then he touches his forehead. So I don't know what he was saying, but he was so serious after scoring that goal. I love those goal reactions from Craig. He just kind of, yeah. He does that so much, and I love it. But yeah, what a great ball placed there, and then the ball just goes in. I think you said it on the broadcast, Craig. You're like, I that's why I don't play like I would never even think of putting my head there the way that he did. He just went. It looked so simple, but those plays are not easy. And it was.
I would just break my nose. Honest to God. Cross the ball to me like 10 times and I will like break my nose, break my orbital, get a concussion. Like those are the three most likely things to happen if I try and do what Craig did. Craig's just like, thunk, knock it in, stand up, turn around. Everyone's happy. Everyone's good. And the Sockers were good from that point on. Dallas had no legs. This is the same thing. It's why you don't really even have to analyze the second half of these two matches. Dallas gives it a crack. They had a nice, solid, competitive 30 minutes, and then they come out in the second half. The Sockers gain a little bit of focus. They bear down, and what do you know? 2-0 in the third quarter. Here's Gerardo on the goal mouth again. Gerardo gets 2 goals, and his two Tijuanense, Churras and CG, each do all the hard work, and then really just things from there kind of devolved for Dallas. You started to see them fall apart. Boris comes up with a couple of good saves, but Dallas didn't have Alberto Rodriguez, the 35-year-old rookie who has 8 goals this year and has really been a key part of their club. He didn't make the trip for the back-to-back, and so at this point, Pollo setting up Juan Gonzalez, very clever. The Gonzalez twins, so clever in the way they are around the ball. At this point, it's Katie bar the door, and it's a 4-0 fourth quarter, and it's an 8-2 final score.
Yeah, it was good to see Juan back out there. I don't think, is this his first game back with the first team?
Yeah, he had been down with 2. He was available on Saturday as well. Yeah, but he's been down with 2, but now, Farber was looking to be in. That could have been Farber. He had to be put into protocols before the match, so was unavailable for his selection. Pee Wee Ortega took a knock on Saturday, and that allowed for the space to be there for Juan to draw into the lineup. And, what a teammate, right? What a professional, whether he's Sockers 2, whether he's a training ground star, or whether he's in the big league lineup, Juan Gonzalez is going to give you what he can.
Yeah. No, it was a great team effort, and I think we had talked about this, or you guys talked about it maybe in the broadcast. We individually talked about it, but we'll say it now. If you hadn't noticed, all of the goal scorers for this game were all Mexican players, except for Craig Childs. So he is now, for this game, was Craig Chiles, as Marlisha,
yes, Chiles.
As Marlisha mentioned, and it was all Mexicans scoring. Craig's a San Diegan, so he might as well. He's part of the Hispanic community now. Like, we were just adopting him. He's adopted. It says Chiles, okay, in the back of his jersey. Charles, no, that was fantastic. It was a great game, great time, and you just love to see these guys stepping it up. And that goal also from Golden Gutierrez. I think he was also due for one. I think, right? Like he.
Well, that's the one. After all the hard work he did for the other goals.
Yeah, it was time. He got
let Dallas give him one. Yeah, just get one. Yeah, get a nice one. Couple of goals for Christian in the fourth quarter. Scores against the sixth attacker, and it was a great match overall. The one last thing really to talk about, we mentioned it before, but shutout again to Voy Morgan. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
At one point I said, when he missed on his last fourth quarter shot, I said, close your eyes and imagine you're in Texas. I mean, at this point, we need to put him in a hotel room before the next home match. Maybe he should stay at the Dana on Mission Bay on Saturday night.
As we see him take a shot and it goes high. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is. I don't even want to try to take guesses. I wonder if we asked him if he had any idea. I think it's just, he did so good the game before. He's just taking a little bit of a mental break. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. He wants to score. When I told him in the beginning of this game, I said, hey, we need to get you that top hat so you can celebrate your, your hat trick games. And he said, absolutely, today. And it was just not to be, Craig. It was not to be.
So there it is, 8-2, Sockers win. Great night, over 2,200 tickets out for this one. Really well-placed, festive crowd, great atmosphere. Just big props. Bobby Cressy, DJ Mancat, once again, just had the vibe going all night long. I thought it was really a great night for the Sockers front office, and for the club on the floor.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I know we're going to talk about some more specifics later on in Sockers news coming up as far as what we have coming. But, I mean, I guess we can talk about it later on after we talk to Erik. But that halftime game, that media game, if you weren't there, man, you missed out.
Well, I'm sure Tony's in the chat or listening or watching on replay. You're going to have to wait, Tony. You're going to have to wait.
Yeah.
It's always worth the wait.
We're going to borrow Two Balls and a Mic's footage, and we'll play it on here a little bit while we talk about it.
Oh, my God. I can't wait. So stay tuned for that. But stay tuned for this right now. It's time to welcome in our special guest. He's been extremely patient hanging out in the chat. We did have two highlight replay reels to get through, and now it's time to talk about the next match as the Sockers, having improved to 5-0, get one of the only two East versus West home matches lined up next on the calendar. It's the Kansas City Comets coming to town, and so coming to Sockers Overtime, making his second appearance on Sockers Overtime, we head out to Kansas City, and we welcome in the analyst from the MASL Twitch broadcasts alongside Nick Vassos, the great Erik Bergrud, joining us.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Overtime.
What's happening?
Hey, there's a little bit of an echo on your end. I'm not sure why.
Do you have any headphones?
Not with me, but I can switch devices. Sit tight.
Sure. Don't worry. We have lots of things to talk about. It's okay.
No, I'm like, sorry.
Talk amongst yourselves.
This is terrible. This is going to be edited out of the audio for the podcast, please. Great.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Send me an email later.
Yeah, no, I'm going to forget. You're just going to throw it in there. You didn't even care.
Erik will be right back.
He'll be right back.
I think you reminded me to tell him to put on the headphones.
I did remind you, and you know what? I'm gonna let you talk for a little bit too. For some reason, my dryer keeps like kicking on, and I don't know why it's doing that. I doubt you guys can hear it, but
no, I haven't heard a word.
Okay.
Or a bump or a thump.
All right. Well,
I think it sounds good.
I think he's back. Let me see.
Okay, let's try again.
Oh no! Hold on.
Okay.
Look, now he's gray, but now. He's there. Hey,
Guys.
There you go.
We're set. It's great to have you on, my friend. Thank you so much. Man, MASL Monday, Sockers Overtime. Are you going to be on Striking Fury? Are you going to be on Under Review?
I've never been invited to either show, but hey, it's a short week or a long week. Stay tuned. The thing is, guys, people have my phone number, and I have a hard time saying no. So I didn't expect to do either of these two shows the last 2 days, and here I am.
Really appreciate you doing it, Erik.
Yeah. You're going to go for the interview cycle by the end of the week, and then you get a special medallion on your iPhone when that happens. So,
hey, kudos, Jerry, on the cross-border kits. Those were sensational, and they look great on TV. I'm sure they looked even better in person.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
absolutely. I'd love to say that we saved one for you, but we sold out by halftime. So,
I heard you say that, Craig, but it sounded like you were doing a second run. So hopefully Sockers fans take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
more on that to come right after the interview. We'll talk more about that. Hey, let's dig into the comments here a little bit, my friend, and talk about the season to date. A lot of close games, a little bit of up and down. How would you rate what you've seen so far from the comments?
Well, maybe it doesn't matter what I think. Maybe it matters what Comets fans think, and they're not terribly comfortable right now. I think that there were expectations high. You might recall last year the MASL had 3 divisions, and then the league pivoted with the return of Mesquite and Monterey to 2 conferences. And I think the thought was, okay, we know Florida is going to be good, but Kansas City will be up there. And the season hasn't turned out that way so far. I said so far for the Comets. We talk on air a lot about not making excuses. The Comets, I guess you could say, have had excuses, but every team has excuses for why they don't perform. Every team except the San Diego Sockers, because it doesn't seem to matter. The Sockers find a way to persevere and overcome.
You know, we try, but we still had our struggles, I think, especially in the beginning of the season. And for Kansas City, talking about struggles, I mean, they just faced off against a Tacoma team that hasn't really played very much. Kind of interested to hear about that tough loss, how you felt about it on the Kansas City side.
So we went into the game, and I caution fans that Tacoma is a really tough road team. They played Empire tough that opener in Ontario and actually beat Empire. They've given the Sockers over the last couple of years some pretty good games down there in Pechanga. I wasn't overconfident. I think that the Comets and fans perhaps overlooked Tacoma because they'd only played 2 games. They've been off for a month, but they had a lot of time to look at game film too. And they, I think, exploited some weaknesses the Comets had. I mean, anything I say, it's not like I'm sharing trade secrets. If you watch any game film, you can kind of figure out. I saw somebody in the chat talk about Utica. All that Utica wants to do is score goals. That's absolutely right. And there's some teams like that. I think Empire's sort of in that category. Florida's sort of in that category. Kansas City likes to push players up, but sometimes they push too many players up, and then there's trouble. And that's what we saw on Saturday night.
Well, one of the guys who can play up front, he can play in the back, he can play anywhere, of course, is the great Leo Gibson, 400-point MASL scorer, head coach player of the team. That's always one of those fascinating dynamics, and he keeps chugging along, man. I guess it's just like the folks outside waiting for the year that Childs drops off the face of the earth. We keep wondering when Leo is going to just drop off, put on the suit and tie, head to the bench, and man, he keeps going.
Well, that wasn't the plan, Craig. The plan was to coach this year, and Kansas City went into St. Louis shorthanded, but Leo was going to be good, right? I'm not going to play. I'm going to coach. And then he realized he has a problem because with injuries and at the time visa issues, Kansas City was very thin up front, and he made a decision the next night to play himself, and things got better. But I mean, I don't think that's his goal. I don't think that's his plan, but I don't think he has any choice. He scored 2 goals against Tacoma the other day. The star target, Rion Marks, is not 100%. He's playing. I give him a lot of credit. He's doing this for his team, but he's not comfortable out there. And I think if you watch any recent game film, you'll see that. Expect to see Leo on Sunday night. You missed him last year because his wife, Lucian, was giving birth. But I guess my question for you, Craig and Jerry, is what's the over-under on penalty minutes Sunday night?
Oh, man.
That's literally on our menu as a question we were going to ask you.
Yeah, it is.
Total number of cards. There were 20 cards last time, Eric. 20.
Oh, man.
So what's funny is I spend way too much time in chats during Twitch broadcasts, not just yours, but other games. And somebody was, this was a St. Louis fan who was making a comment about Shane Butler, who reffed that game, and said that Shane Butler comments. And I'm like, really? Did you count how many penalty cards he gave out in San Diego against the Comets last year? I really don't believe. I know that fans like to believe that individual referees have a thing against their team. It's not true. It's easier to believe when you haven't won 16 championships that everything's rigged against you. But yeah, for this St. Louis fan, I'm like, if you saw that Sockers game in San Diego where Kansas City just got lit up with blue cards and yellow cards, you wouldn't necessarily assume that the referees are on Kansas City's side. And it's Kansas City's challenge. They want to play aggressively on the road. And I think you saw it, you called it, Nate called it last year, maybe too aggressively on the road at Pechanga.
Yeah, just a little bit. By the way, just because we brought him up, I just want to say this because we have had some fun, and especially on our broadcasts, we've treated that as the game that you must not speak of, and every time Shane Butler comes up, we're like, oh my God, the cards. Shane Butler was the ref of the grand final. Shane Butler did a tremendous job reffing the grand final. He was the first winner of the Gino DiPolito Award for League's Top Ref. And I heard that he's going to ref the match on Sunday, and that Sigic might be there too. And I'm fine with that. I don't think he comes in. I mean, I think it would be hilarious if he ran out with a giant bunny ear get up on the top of his on the top of his ref's outfit. But I think he's a terrific ref, and I think that game was way too physical.
Well, and I'm not going to defend what the Comets did. You see that if you watch as many Comets games as I do, it's a different approach they take on the road. They want to be physical. They want to be intimidating, and it didn't work last year. And so they're going to have to do something different. I have a lot of respect both for Sigic and for Shane Butler. Had great chats with both of them. So if those wind up being the referees on Sunday, I think that's great because that sends you a message. If Sigic sends himself director of officiating, right, and sends Shane Butler, I mean, it's pretty clear what tone is going to be set for this game on Sunday.
Yeah, one of the things as we're talking, this is perfect segue, by the way, for my next question, because we're talking about penalties. We're talking about blue card accumulation, yellow card accumulation, red card accumulation. I don't know, all the cards coming. But one of the things about Kansas City that I love is just the cast of characters. There's so many characters within that team, so many stories that you can tell, and you guys do a fantastic job on the broadcast team to tell those stories. One of those characters that I absolutely love is Nicolau Neto.
I know
he's coming up on 6 penalty points, right? I mean, or he has 6 penalty points. So he's coming up on penalty point accumulation suspension. I'm just kind of interested in hearing, what you see in terms of Neto's development in the net. That's actually my question.
So honestly, we don't shy on interviews. Nick Vassos and I did. So I took on Neto after what people were calling the Neto rule was adopted, where the goalies had to serve their own penalty. And he answered that. And I got a text from Commissioner Keith Tozer saying, tell Neto, thank you. Thank him for actually answering that question and not shying away from it. So he plays the way he wants to play. I mean, you hear my broadcast. I'm a big supporter of all the goalkeepers. I think the goalkeepers are an easy target in this game. You mentioned Craig Tavoy's goal scoring woes, but you don't see a lot of fans in the chat saying, bench Tavoy, send him to Sockers too. But a goalkeeper does something, and all of a sudden fans want them packing, right? And some Kansas City Comets fans seem to not have a lot of patience for the way Neto plays. I don't think I'm sharing a secret. I had a nice chat with Danny Waltman, who Nick Vassos interviewed for Saturday's game. We had a great talk about Neto's, the way he plays, how he reads the game, etc. And so for me, he has legendary goalkeeper coach Alan Mayer, who, by the way, was the first Sockers goalkeeper to earn an MVP award. And so, I mean, if Alan Mayer coaches somebody, and he coached Boris when Boris was in Kansas City and vouches for him, that's good enough for me.
100%. By the way, I have sent him this, but I'll put it in your ear too. We would love for Alan Mayer to come to our match on March 4th. It is the 40th anniversary of his 30-win MVP first-team All-League season. when the Sockers won their second championship, his one full year as the keeper, and he won MVP here. And it would be our honor to have Alan out to the match on March 4th. So if you want to, just drop a little card in his hat, please do.
Be glad to do it. And he was unreal that year. And I still remember seeing photos of players lifting him on their shoulders. And he's one of many goalkeepers that San Diego has had over the years that have redefined the game. I'd say Victor Nogueira would be another one, who also was a league MVP. And you mentioned all my media appearances on MASL Monday yesterday. I suggested that Boris Pardo could be MVP this year. San Diego has not played as many games as other teams have, but any goalkeeper who can get under a 4.0 goals against average, the league ought to really consider that as something exceptional, something extraordinary. And I know, Craig, you talk a lot about San Diego defenders not getting a lot of credits because the league tends to value block shots in stats. And I think that there's a lot of truth in it. But for me, the Sockers start with Boris. He organizes the team well. He reads the team well. And imagine what life would be like. That's a different way to view MVP. What would life be like if Boris Pardo weren't your goalkeeper game in, game out?
Right. No, that's exactly correct. And that's something we never speak of. So,
yeah.
Don't even want to think about it.
We don't put those type of thoughts into the universe, Erik. Boris is here, and we are very happy. We are very, very happy Boris is here. Now, a couple more things before we let you go. This is an exciting club. I'm really happy to see the way James Togba is breaking out this year. He's a kid that we spent a lot of time with 4 years ago down in Australia when he was part of the WMF World Cup team for Team USA. Just a tremendous kid. Really enjoy what he's doing so far. And I'm just curious how that kind of fits in with now Monreal coming back, the team starting to maybe round out a little bit. If that gives you guys hope that maybe you do have that contender status still waiting in the wings.
Yeah, I think, not to sound Pollyannish, Craig, I mentioned this on MASL Monday too, and I tell this to Comets fans. It really doesn't matter. This will be Kansas City's fourth game against the West. We're done. The way it works out is you play 20 games within your conference and 4 in the other. And ultimately, at the end of the regular season, there's going to be fans across the Western Conference that are going to say the Western Conference is superior to Eastern Conference. That's fine and that's great, but only one Western Conference team is going to make it to the final, and only one Eastern Conference team is going to need to make it to the final. So ultimately what Kansas City has to figure out is, how do we become that one Eastern Conference team that makes it to the final? And the challenge for them is consistently winning on the road. They've had a little rough week and a half at home, but I think that's more of a blip. But we'll see in San Diego. We'll see when they come back home and then they have to drive to St. Louis. They need to get some points. And I'm not suggesting they need to win both games, but they need to find a way to get some points on the road and then ultimately show in the playoffs that they can come in a home and home plus potential extra time game, that they can go into somebody else's arena and get all 3 points. They're not there yet, but they're putting the pieces together to be there when it matters. And as I guess a historical reminder, San Diego was, during the COVID year, regular season, first time in however long, had a losing record, but the pieces together in the playoffs. Nobody remembers what the Sockers record was that year. All they remember is that the 15th championship came home to San Diego.
Yeah, very true. It's some things to think about, so I appreciate you bringing those up, because it's a type of thing that you don't really think about. At the end of the day, only one team from the West is going to make it, and San Diego wants to be that team. Like you said, KC needs to work towards that as well. One of the things that we're always trying to do better here in San Diego is to put more butts in seats and to get that crowd coming out to San Diego. I mean, I think that we are very far away from where we can be, where it's possible to be. Kansas City, on the other hand, is doing fantastic, and the attendance records show that. I recently just looked at the numbers. I'm pretty sure Kansas City is number one right now in MASL as far as attendance. And so I'm just interested from your perspective, Eric, is what's working so well off the field for Kansas City?
I think a couple things, but actually, I anticipated this question coming. So I've given this some thought, a little bit of thought today, in terms of not saying what works in Kansas City would work in San Diego, but I'll give you a San Diego thought. You can decide whether you agree with or not. I'd say in Kansas City, a couple things. One is some dedicated front office people, returning staff, new staff, who've been driving a lot of group ticket sales. I think we have a benefit that we have a local TV partner. So we're not just on Twitch. Twitch is great. I spent a lot of time during the games, and maybe too much time, focused on Twitch. We also have a local TV affiliate. So we're getting all of our home games on Kansas City regular television, which I think has helped draw more interest locally in the Comets. I think that there has been some benefit. We've seen a boost post-COVID, people coming back to indoor events, which I think has helped us as well. But I'm not sure you could take everything that's happening in Kansas City and drop it in San Diego and make sense. I mean, for me, when I think about the San Diego Sockers, I think, okay, so you have the Wave and you have the Loyal. They're both great franchises. But how many soccer franchises in the United States have won 16 championships? And if you think about the totality of American soccer, San Diego has something special that it should celebrate, which is we have the most dominant team in the entire history of American soccer. I'm talking the entire history. I'm going like way, way back to the black and white era with the old cameras and everything. There's something special. There's something to be proud of that only San Diego has. And I think that's a story you're telling. I think it's a story that deserves to be repeated. And I think that's something that San Diego can celebrate, that we are the symbol of excellence in indoor soccer. We always have been. We intend to be that way. Come join us for something special. And it's something that the other communities across the United States envy. One of I guess the good bad things about supporting teams that have lost a lot over the 40 whatever years I've been watching indoor soccer is I'm used to getting my hopes crushed, right? You don't really worry about getting your hopes crushed in San Diego. It's something that you can celebrate, is that every year you have a chance to bring another trophy there. That's something that a lot of other teams would be dying to replicate. I don't know how you convey. I'm not suggesting you convey it differently, but I mean, for me, I think that's an exciting value proposition that only the San Diego Sockers have. The Milwaukee Wave can claim it. The Baltimore Blast can claim it. Only you have it.
That's great stuff, man. I know. I appreciate that. I've had a lot of people asking me, even at matches, like, hey, what's going on in Kansas City? What's going on in St. Louis when you see 4,000 or 5,000 people there? Why can't we have that here? And it's not to say that you can't. It's a much longer discussion. It's almost a whole separate podcast. Maybe we should put that on the Patreon feed, the one we don't have. Nonetheless, it's really cool. And I guess to just wrap the interview, we just want to tip our caps and say it's incredible to see you guys are one of the flagship franchises in this league. And, there are sometimes flagship franchises that don't have a ton of championships, but they've got that quality. They've got that professionalism. And I think you guys have that with your front office, with your club, with your arena, with your broadcast, with your PR and communications. Kansas City Comets, first class all the way. Now, listen, maybe a few too many red cards when they come to San Diego. But other than that, really good.
Well, we appreciate that. I think the one thing about the Comets culture, and I haven't been announcing Comets games that long, but one thing I found out really quickly is there is love for indoor soccer and love for the league. And so we stand ready to support. So whenever anybody texts or says, hey, can you jump on my show? I mean, that's something I feel like that's important to do. We're not just a Kansas City team. We're an MASL team. And when San Diego's successful, when Mesquite's successful, we're all successful. So anything that we can do, whether it's Nick Vassos or me, I will pass your message on to Alan Mayer. Just let us know, because when San Diego does well, everybody does well.
Oh, I love hearing that, Jerry, from Eric. I heard it specifically. When San Diego does well, it's good for him, so he's happy. So Eric's very happy when the Sockers win. I love this.
I've had that experience of being an opposing fan going into what was then the sports arena, and you walk in and you're there for like 2 minutes, and you know this is going to be a bad night because they're playing. At the time, it was the walkout music was "Rock This Town" by the Stray Cats, and once you've heard about the fifth Sockers cheer going around the sports arena, you know you're probably already down 4 or 5-0. So there are a lot of things that and I appreciate that you're looking for ways to grow audience, and I think your new arena is going to be exciting. I think that's going to tell the soccer story in a different way. But I'm looking forward to coming back on Sunday. As I told Alex yesterday on MSL Monday, I've never seen the Sockers lose in San Diego. So
and you never will.
You will never see that happen.
You'll never will.
No, we appreciate you taking the time.
You're the man.
Obviously, really excited to get to meet you in person and get to see you this Sunday. It's going to be an exciting game. I'm looking forward to it. I know Craig is as well. And we're Craig. I mean, like, do we have anything else to add to this? This is great. I always love talking to Erik.
No, I appreciate it, man. We'll let you go. I know it's a couple hours later where you are, and we got a lot of news to churn through here, including visa stuff. But thank you so much. We really appreciate it, buddy, and we'll see you Sunday in San Diego.
Looking forward to Sockers fans. Hope to catch up with several of you Sunday as well. Take care.
Awesome stuff. There's Erik Bergrud. You can follow him on Twitter, Erik Bergrud. You can follow him on Instagram, Erik Bergrud. That's with a K. With the U's, check it out. Great stuff. Great stuff, man.
Love
very
that guy.
exciting.
It's gonna be a fun time, man. I totally had forgot. I hadn't even thought about the last season's game against Kansas City. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah, it's.
Oh
should
yeah.
Be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna enjoy it. Good stuff indeed. Okay, let's get to some MASL news.
Yep.
This has been talked about a little bit on the Florida broadcast, I think on the Kansas City broadcast as well. And I was actually kind of hoping I was going to get a text because I know the league had a call about this literally this afternoon as we record this on Tuesday, January 10th. So I did not get the text I was hoping for to be able to say like absolutely rock solid. But essentially the simplest way to put this is the league has found, if not a loophole, a way in which players who have been unable to play and get paid in the United States and could only do so in Mexico, those players, Mexico specifically, are going to have an opportunity to get paid and to be able to play once again. That's going to activate some Florida kids. And I know he is Brazilian, but I think it's a different passport situation. But Heiner House, their goalkeeper, who I think they've missed very badly so far this season, might be able to come back. A couple other Florida kids can come back. Benji Monreal with Kansas City was an example. And, of course, here in San Diego, the guy that we've been waiting for forever is Ishmael Rojo. Big Rojo. And I saw Chiqui Luna at work today, our director of player personnel, asked very straightforwardly, like, can Big Rojo play now? Is Big Rojo available for selection? And one thing, and I see Kay Vibbard mentioning it as well in the chat, Rojo has not been playing for M2 so far this year. He has been dealing with a knee situation earlier this season. I did see him at practice once last week. So it's not that he can't be out there on the floor, but I don't think he's where you'd like him to be right now to just be able to plug and play into the lineup and just to drop him into a situation like a Kansas City match. But I think it's really, really exciting and should be exciting for Sockers fans to think of the possibility to have the Rojo brothers together on the floor at a time not too far from now.
We have been talking about this, it feels like, for years. But yeah, so I mean, it's a possibility now. It's a much better possibility, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see that because, we've had good luck with siblings playing with each other in this team. So I mean, I would love to see, especially Ismael Rojo and his brother Juan Manuel. Just they pair up really well, and so seeing them play together in this team soon, hopefully, would be fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, and I think it would be big for Juan Manuel Rojo to have Ishmael
Yeah.
back, to push him a little bit.
And one thing too is it also kudos to the league for looking for things to try to make this work because they understand how important it is for this league to be better as well. A lot of these players with visa issues are fantastic players that we really need in this league. And so, kudos to the league. And there it is that, finally we see it. Yes, they have been trying. They have been looking and moving, to try and make this happen. So, yeah, you just love to see that.
Well, the next step is to get beyond the loophole step. It's to get to the place where the league is recognized by customs. The league is recognized by the United States government at a level where these visas are kind of automatically approved, where all it has to say is this guy's playing in the MASL, and they go, okay. Just like Carlos Vela needs to get his visa, and they say, well, he's playing in the MLS. Okay. No problem. Done. Dusted. Giannis Antetokounmpo, etc. So you want it to be at that level. You don't want it to be, it's going to be case to case. It's going to depend on the judge. It's going to depend on the arbitrator. It's going to depend on whether the lawyer filled out the brief the right way, etc. And that's kind of where we've been as a league for about 4 or 5 years. So I'm really hoping that's changing. It's changing for the better. And let's see how this all develops. It's really good news for everyone.
I'm going to get that Super Rojo Brothers graphic going just in case.
Oh, I like that. Let's do that. There were some crazy results over the course of last week. We talked about it last week that it was going to be a super busy week for the MASL and a lot of West versus East last week, starting with the match Tuesday when Florida came west and lost at Empire and served up, I think, like 11 goals. I don't have the scoreboard open.
It was 7-11.
Yeah, there it is.
There's an easy one for you.
So Florida, drops those points. Then, just sticking with Empire for a second, Empire goes east, goes to Baltimore, loses that match, goes to Utica, back and forth game. Utica is playing defense optional soccer right now, and Empire gets the goals at the end of the match to pull that one out. Meanwhile, Mesquite goes east and loses in overtime at Utica. That was the game where the run and gun city offense gets the last laugh with Gordy Gerson scoring a hat-trick golden goal, and the Sockers the Sockers taking advantage, I guess you'd say, of Mesquite dropping 2 more points out there on the road. I'm telling you, man, every point is going to count. So that's 5 points now that Mesquite has dropped. The Sockers are on 1 point dropped. It essentially means they've got 1 game wiggle right now when it comes to at least the Outlaws.
Yeah, and I was gonna say this, but Eddie beat me to it. I think for Mesquite, it was just not good defense. If you go back and watch this game, it was just absolutely not what I'm used to seeing from Mesquite so far. I don't know what happened there, but good on Empire, man. Let's go. Like, it's time for them to pick it up. And while we're on the Empire discussion, I know this wasn't really on something that we were going to discuss, but what exactly happened with Frank Tayu? I guess there was a red card for violent conduct.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I missed that on actually on the game on the 8th is when that happened.
It was in the Utica. Okay, that's the one I couldn't watch all the way because I was at work and we had the M2 game going. Right, both of us. Right, so, very interesting.
So if anybody in the chat, this is where we're going to reach out into the chat and ask if you have any information, please feel free to send it our way. He stomped a player. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Frank stomped him on a player. It looks like that's the... we're going to have to go back and watch this. I can't comment on it unless I see it, so...
Yeah, but, me too.
It wasn't that violent,
Mesquite's
said Eddie.
Defense.
Eddie's a violent person, though, so I'm just saying, I'm not sure that I trust what Eddie's saying.
Easy Eddie. Easy Eddie. That's what we call him. Yeah, Mesquite's given up 27 goals in their last 4 games. That's after they had given up 14 goals in their first 4 games. So, yeah, things have fallen off there. And Poyo Cortez is still a good goalkeeper. But, you did kind of wonder when you have an almost 50-year-old defender out there playing a lot of minutes if that was ever going to come back and get you. And maybe it has for some extent in Mesquite. If Mesquite's going to defend like that, we don't have to worry about Mesquite. They're a good team, but they won't be good enough when the time comes. The one that I think you really do have to keep an eye on, though, is the one we expected. It's Chihuahua. Yeah. To go to Monterrey, to go to Arena Monterrey, to win in the home opener, 7-2, to win going away. It just feels like Chihuahua's the team that second year together, they've got that confidence, they've got that togetherness, and I mean, hey, just circle it. January 29th, Sockers and Savage, is coming up here a few Sundays from now at Pechanga Arena, and it's going to be one of the matches of the year in this league.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Monterrey beat Chihuahua before, right? And this was, let me see, back in December, mid-December at Corner Sports. So they were beaten by Monterrey. I think they just wanted to make a statement, and they made a statement. Was this a home opener for Monterrey, if I'm not mistaken?
It was.
It
was.
Terrible. Or great for Chihuahua. But yeah, I mean, you see them take out Monterrey. You see them take out Florida. Chihuahua is scarier and scarier every single time I see them. And it wasn't like a tight game either. I mean, Chihuahua beat Florida 9-5, and then goes and beats Monterrey 7-2. It's just Chihuahua's scary. I mean, I have to agree. It's going to be a fun one. So circle that game in your calendar, because that one you're not going to want to miss. And actually, we're going to need you to be at this game. All y'all fans listening. To give Chihuahua a hard time, especially Valdovinos, calling out all Brujos. We need you there.
Yeah, I want the Brujos. I want the locals. I want the Sirens. I want them all.
Yeah.
Like, that is the match that we need to get everybody out and everybody in full form, because I really think it's going to come down to this type of stuff. I mean, the Sockers have played 3 times in Chihuahua in their life, and all 3 matches have gone to overtime, right? Overtime win, overtime loss. So you just know that there's no guarantee that you're pulling good points out of Corner Sport Arena, and I believe you're going to go there 2 times. So this is going to be a ton of fun. And by the way, I think it's a ton of fun for the league, because everyone talks up all the other teams around the league, but you got to beat the Sockers. Like, we're the standard. And by the way, even if a team does beat San Diego, the Sockers have won 25 straight regular season matches. They've gone to at least get a point out of 46 straight matches. Eventually, they're going to drop a match, right? I mean, eventually they're going to drop a match. When that happens, it's not time for everyone to freak out. It's time for everyone to stand up and applaud. When you have streaks like this, at a point where it's broken, you stand up and applaud, because the rest of the league needs to prove that they can beat the Sockers twice in a series. Until that happens, we're the prohibitive favorite to take the cup.
I absolutely love that. I love that mentality. And you're right. I think, when we do lose, and it's going to come eventually, we do need to stand up, applaud both teams, honestly. One, obviously the Sockers for being able to hold such a long streak, went down now at 25, and the other team as well for having the ability and being able to beat the Sockers, which apparently in 25 games no one has been able to. So yeah, what a great way to look at that. I love that, Craig.
Yeah, I had put on the menu Florida fading. I just. Florida came back. They got to play Harrisburg. I don't think Harrisburg is one of the better teams in this league. I'm sure they'll give us a run for our money when we have to go there in a couple weekends. But really, they gave up 11 to Empire. They gave up 9 to Chihuahua. They gave up 9 to Utica. They gave up, 5 to Baltimore. There's a little bit of something there. Florida's springing some leaks this year. They don't seem to have the full cohesive team presence that we saw at the end of last year, and that's fine. I just think very simply, the West is overloaded better than the East. And I'm glad Keith just brought up in the chat. If you really go by what I go by, which is points lost as opposed to points gained, given that we're so disparate right now. Some teams are at 9, some teams are at 3 matches. Milwaukee is the team so far in the East that's dropped the fewest points. Milwaukee is the team so far in the East that has put some impressive results up. Milwaukee has also had a pretty easy schedule. And they've had the home games when they've played the better teams. So right now, it just looks to me like the 5th, 6th place teams in the West would have a pretty darn good chance of making the playoff in the East.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And shout out, you brought up Milwaukee. Kelsey was at our game. This community, like everybody knows each other, and Kelsey's one of those one of those fans that is now a Sockers fan, and then goes home and supports Wave. But if she could, she'd probably be in San Diego supporting the Sockers. So it was good to see her and say hi. And so Toy Runner is also mentioning that for the record. Kelsey is a Sockers fan. We're trying to convert some people over here, but the Wave is one of those teams that we still don't know exactly what's happening there. Like you said, they've played pretty simple games so far. I don't know exactly what their schedule is. Maybe I should pull it up and see who they have coming up. But they right now, like you said, if you're looking at stats, I mean, they're the ones that are doing the best so far. They have a 3-winning streak. And we'll see what that looks like. The East, just to me, I'm not worried about the East. Now at this point, right now, I'm worried about Chihuahua, and that is it. I think everybody else, Eric mentioned it, I believe, on MASL Mondays. He said the Sockers, can they be beat? Yes, absolutely they can. But you have to have everything in place. Your team has to be, completely just concentrated and ready to go and have a game plan against the Soccer and know what you're doing. And the defense has to be 100%. Your mid has to be 100%. Your forwards all have to be 100%. Your goalkeeper better be, up there with the best of goalkeepers to beat the Sockers. But can you beat them? Yes. So while he was saying that we can be beat, he also mentioned, like, you have to be, a very special team to be able to beat the Sockers. And right now, Craig, Chihuahua is the only team that I see as that special team that can do it.
All right, let's buzz through real quick here, Sockers news to wrap up the show, because this is all important stuff. It does fall under the category somewhat of housekeeping, and I know we like to get out in 90 minutes. So let's start with the cross-border kit. As we mentioned, the cross-border kit was practically sold out pre-match. There was a line at the merch stand all game. When I came down at halftime, already even the display cross-border kit had been sold. We were completely out. And I heard from our director of merchandise that day, Ezra Burdett, that the pre-order that last week we said would be starting on the 16th because they would first sell out the remaining inventory online, it started immediately. So already we've had a couple dozen people order, and this is your time. I just want to make this explicitly clear. We are pre-ordering cross-border kits between now and January 31st. The Sockers will order a certain amount that we intend to sell at the stand, right? We will be printing a certain amount that we intend to sell the rest of the season at the stand. But if you want to guarantee that you're going to get a cross-border kit, if you are in Milwaukee, if you are in New York, if you are in England, if you're in Spain, wherever you are, and you want one of these beautiful kits, just go to sdsockers.com right now, click on the shop button, and it's right there, the pre-sale for the cross-border kit. That pre-sale stays open till the end of January, and then it's done. It is done at that point. So you don't have a guarantee to get this kit unless you go online, and you can do it right now. sdsockers.com/shop or sdsockers.com. Click on the shop tab right there on the homepage. If you want to order one for your kid for their birthday, if you want to order one for the family, for your mom, for your dad, this is the time. Put the pre-order in. We expect to receive those kits back, best case scenario, by the March 4th match, but some point early March. So you'll definitely have it for the playoff run.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the love, by the way. This was honestly a just labor of love making this kit, and it was a lot of people involved. I was just the one to have the honor to put this thing together and make it like a visible thing that we could then make. But it took a lot of people. So I really appreciate all the love that I got, not just at the game. I see you all in the chat as well. And yeah, believe it or not, it looks better in person. Everybody that I've talked to has told me that. And it looks great on the players. All the players afterwards told me, that they felt good playing in it. I mean, they looked like they enjoyed playing in it. I want them to continue to win in this kit because it is just, I want to continue to see this kit. It's beautiful. I love it. And yes, I'm biased because I helped create it, but yeah, make sure you pre-order it. Don't miss out on this one. I mean, once they're gone, they're gone. This pre-order, it makes sure that you're going to get the kit that you need in your size. And guess what? It goes all the way from youth small to 4XL. So adult. Correct. 4XL. So you have the opportunity again to get your size that you need. And I will recommend this for anybody listening that is planning on buying one. Flight does run slightly smaller. So make sure that you order it one size bigger, and it should fit perfect. That's what I've come to experience. So
great call. Absolutely. I'm normally a large. I wear XL for all of the flight stuff I wear, and it's always kind of like, wow, it's even kind of a tight XL. So if you're someone who's normally kind of a tight XL, with regular sizing, you might think about the double X there. If you're on the slim side, like, I'm a large and a large is kind of big on me, then large is going to be fine for you. It's almost like 2/3 of a size off. You know what I'm saying? It's not a whole size off. It's about 2/3 of a size off. It's a little bit smaller. So Toy Runner says 2 sizes small. So, your mileage may vary, but, definitely consider checking up one, pulling out that one larger club in your bag to take the swing on the cross-border kit. That's the big news. That's the scroll. SDSoccers.com/shop. Put in the pre-order. Pre-order lasts till January 31st. Sunday, Kansas City in town. We got a lot of really cool things going on at Pechanga Arena. It is Animal Friends Night. The giveaway is a Soccers Pets calendar. Fans will be getting a 12-month calendar, and here it is, still January, so something you can put up and use all year long. That's an all-fans giveaway coming into the arena, but also just outside the arena on the north entrance, and the awning of the north entrance, starting at 3:30 on Sunday, will be a pet adoption event. We have there's 9 on this graphic. I think it's 8 that's going to wind up showing up. I think one group had to drop out, but we've got 8 different pet rescue organizations that are going to come out and present and have dogs available for adoption right there. I know Rancho Coastal Humane Society, we are partnering with them big time. I know that we're going to be doing a TV appearance with them tomorrow on Fox 5 San Diego. By the way, if you want to check that out, tomorrow about 9:40, 9:45 on Fox 5 San Diego, we'll be out on the patio with them talking this up. So something to consider. I know you don't normally come to a soccer match to adopt a dog, but you are going to have that opportunity. And if they have a pug there, I'm going to be in real big trouble, Jerry. I'm just going to be in really big trouble.
I've already been threatened by my wife that they're going to show up early for this, and I'm scared. So we will see what happens. We already have Max, my beagle, who I love very much, but he's also a monster. So I'm not sure that I'm ready for another one. And Kara Ellen, congratulations. I think I knew this already, but still, congratulations on an order. They said, I wish I could adopt another pet. We have 2 cats, a fish, and a tiny human on the way. It's already a full house. So, yeah, I can understand that. See, that makes sense. But, I mean, it just, if you think about it, yes, I know, Susan, Max does need a friend, but if you think about it, these animals, these pets that you could have the opportunity to go just to meet, just go see what happens. You might fall in love with one, and you may end up having, you may end up taking your best friend home one of these days. So, yeah, just come out 3:30 p.m. Come say hi. That's so many organizations that are going to be present. Love to see that. And it's gonna be a fun night, like you said too. The pet calendar, I got a chance to get a little preview of it, and it looks really awesome. If you send your pet picture in, thank you very much for that. But it looks great, and I'm really excited to see that and have that and hang that up in my wall over here.
Another piece of housekeeping: if you have a son or daughter age 5 to 15 that likes to play soccer, there's a special ticket for Sunday's match that'll give she or he an experience that they'll remember through their childhood, and that is to have a clinic down on the floor at Pechanga Arena with soccer's players. That is taking place Sunday at 3 o'clock down on the floor. It's a $40 Loge ticket, which I think is like 5 over the regular price, so it's just a ridiculous deal. A $40 ticket, and you are able to come early before the gates open and have your kid down on the floor. We'll have a couple of players and coach be down there for a half-hour clinic, an opportunity to be on the exact same floor where the Sockers have raised couple of championship banners the last 2 years, and lifted the Ron Newman Cup. So really exciting. Go to sdsockers.com/ticket specials to reserve that $40 Loge seat and to get your son or daughter age 5 to 15 down on the floor for the Sockers pre-match clinic. That's from 3 to 3:30, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I know we've got a few people signed up. We've got a decent crowd, but I think it could be a lot better. I think this is a great value, so I just want to keep hyping it up and promoting it the rest of the week.
Hey, really quick, I keep seeing. I have to point this out. All right, D Bishop was saying cross-border T-shirt, and I think I saw someone say scarf. So just to let everybody know, I'm sorry, Ezra, but I'm going to say this out loud. I designed a scarf for this jersey. So if y'all want it, you're going to have to go and demand it, and Ezra has to feel like enough of you are going to buy it. Otherwise,
that's a great call.
Otherwise, you're not going to get it. But that scarf is awesome, like really cool. And it's it's perfect to wear with your kit. But it's not being made. So you have to go and bother Ezra. Sorry, Ezra. You have to go and just say, hey, we want some more cross-border gear, and we'll see if we can make that happen. But there needs to be like enough of you that want it. Otherwise, we're a small organization, guys, but we appreciate the interest, and I really love the love coming in from everybody. I just wanted to throw that in there, Craig. Ezra's going to hate me. I'm going to get an email right after this. Watch.
You are going to get an email right after it. Ezra is at the merchandise stand every match, so all you got to do is drop by the merchandise stand, and you can see the wonderful, pleasant, smiling, happy Ezra, Easy Beezy, as we call her. And listen, my wife, Mitzi, when she first saw those kits, Jerry, she literally was like, you need to go to Ezra tomorrow at work and tell her that they need to have a shirt, they need to have a jersey, they need to have a hoodie, because it's just the best thing you guys have made, and it's such a cool kit, and it's so clean. So I appreciate it. We agree. We think it's awesome too. And yes, please go pester Ezra. Do so with a smile, call her Easy Beezy, and say, we want the scarf, we want the T-shirt, we want the hoodie.
I feel like if we're doing a pre-order for the jersey, we can do the same thing for the scarf and see how that goes. But we'll see. Ezra, oh no, Ezra's here. Oh no, hey Ezra, I love you.
Ruh-roh. Ezra's here.
Anyway,
hang on.
Let me check my email.
Ezra's the best. Ezra's the best.
Catches on fire.
Oh, so good, so good. Okay. Watch parties. Hang on, where did I put my little book? Doggone it, did I forget to bring it in? February 11th is a watch party. There it is. Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank God for Jerry.
You're welcome.
I say that all the time. Every night when I go to bed. Say, thank God for Jerry.
Doubt it.
Saturday. I mean, at least once in a while. It's definitely in the mix. It's in the rotation. It's in the rotation in there. So we revealed the first one last week on the show. Saturday, January 21st. That's not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, 4:00 at the Dana for Sockers and Harrisburg. Saturday, February 11th from the Dana. I don't have my little book next to me. I forget who we're playing. Is it Tacoma? No. Is it Tacoma?
What day?
I have to look it up. February 11th.
I don't know off the top of my... Why don't I know this? I should know this. Chat, help us out.
It, but I wrote it down. Yeah.
Oh
my God, this is terrible.
We're too
Hang on,
slow
I'll look
for
it up.
this.
I'll look it up. This is pathetic
slow.
on my part. February
Tacoma.
11th.
Tacoma.
Thank you. There we go. Tacoma it is. So that will be, again, at the Dana at 7:00. And then I know for sure that we are playing Chihuahua at Chihuahua, February 24th. Oh, my gosh. What a match. One of the matches of the year. That will be at the Calafino Sublimit Lounge. And it's double fun, Jerry.
Yes.
Because it will be a watch party. Everyone will be there live. But also, you and I will be doing the English language broadcast of the match right here on this channel on twitch.tv/San Diego Sockers, the Spanish language broadcast with our guys that we love down there at Chihuahua. That will be on the MASL Twitch channel. We will be doing our English language broadcast. So everyone who comes to the watch party on February 24th, you're going to be right there with Jerry and I as we're calling the game. You're going to be the I don't want to say background noise. You're the crowd noise for that broadcast. So should be a lot of fun, and you'll kind of get to see how the sausage is made as well in terms of Jerry and I syncing up to make sure that we're calling the right thing and that our feed is synced up with the action and all of that behind-the-scenes stuff. But nonetheless, we'll all be there together, staff as well, of course, but Jerry and I. And Jerry and I will be doing an English language broadcast for every game down in Mexico, regular season or playoff, that we have. So that next Sunday, I believe Sunday afternoon, the 26th, we play in Monterey. And then I think in March as well. I think it's March 26th. That we play in Monterey as well, and you and I will be at Calafino those days,
yes.
doing the broadcasts, having an incredibly fun time, and hopefully having more exciting matches. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if we won by 3 or 4 as opposed to overtime, golden goals.
Every time, Craig. Every time. Why is it every time that we do a broadcast? I'm sorry, I had to scream because this is the one thing. Like we've done now 3, 4.
Yeah.
3. And all 3 of them have gone in, like they're just, and not all into overtime, I don't think. Were they all? 2 of them.
All 3 of them into overtime.
All 3 of them.
All 3 went into overtime.
Yes, okay.
All 3 games saw the team that was ahead with like a minute left see the other team come back to tie it. One time, Chihuahua scored with 2 seconds left. Another time, Childs scored with the goalkeeper pulled to make it even strength. Remember that?
Yes.
They were on the penalty kill, and they pulled the keeper to get to even strength, and he kicked in a free kick. And then Torres won it, right?
Yeah, no.
And then the other one was Pollo. Pollo winning
Pollo,
it
that's
at
right.
the end. Just unbelievable stuff.
Okay, so you have to be there on the 24th. Toy Runner, I'm already sensing you getting sick near the end of the day to make the drive.
Yeah, I think maybe you'll have that blue flu, that golden blue flu.
Yeah.
Around lunchtime.
No, but we definitely would love to see you all there. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be super stressful for me because this is only going to be the 4th time that I do color, but I'm going to be a lot more prepared for this one. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't go well, I'm going to be surrounded by tequila, which is great. So come and hang out 5 p.m. at Sublimit Lounge on the 24th. Mark that one. Saturdays are fun always. So the next one coming up on the 21st, I'll see you there as well. I will be there. And then February 11th. So I know I went backwards. Sorry. But the 24th, I'm really excited for, Craig. This could go a lot of different ways, and I'm hoping hoping for the best.
Yeah. Could you imagine if the Sockers are still undefeated going into that match? I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
I'll knock on something, but
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's going to be one of the games of the year. All right. We've got 2 fun things left that we need to discuss. So just this is fun too. Everything's fun.
Yeah, we're going a little
Save
over.
the date.
Everybody
Yeah.
knew that this one's gonna go for at least 2 hours. Everybody told me. Try to keep Craig from going more than 2 hours, and I said that's impossible. We have too much to talk about. So
This is a busy one today, I know. Save the date, Thursday, March 9th. That is the Sockers traveling to Ontario to take on the Empire Strikers. See, I didn't call them the other team, but it's still literally Ontario. Ontario is a place that exists in California. Empire, not a place, not a real place. Empire. It's a theory. It's a concept. It is not a place. So March 9th is a Thursday, 6 p.m. match at Toyota Arena, and the Sockers are looking to put together a bus trip for Sockers fans to come up to buy one ticket that covers your bus fare and your ticket to the match, and to have a couple of pickup locations in San Diego County to get up there by around 5-ish for the 6 o'clock match, and then, of course, to take the bus home on the way. So March 9th, bus trip. More details to come as we get a little bit closer. Not going to throw it all out there today, but just to know that we are 100% intending to have a Sockers-led bus trip for March 9th, and we'd love to see all of our great season ticket members who quite often make that drive on their own anyway and head up to Toyota Arena and brave the I-15, that you'll have the chance to do it not only in comfort, not only in style, but together. And I know you and I have been on some soccer bus trips before, Jerry, and it's a different thing to all be together all the afternoon and evening, having that shared communal experience of going on the road. I can't wait for this.
they're so much fun, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be on that bus. So yeah, come and hang out with me. And Craig, are you driving separately from the crazies in the bus? Or?
Yeah, I have to because I have to do all the writing.
Oh yeah, you have to
after
be
the
over there early.
match.
You have to work.
Yeah, I have to work.
I don't technically have to
So-
work that day.
I mean, we're gonna make you work, but
I mean,
maybe not.
maybe not. Maybe I call in sick and go to the game.
Right. Yeah, I'm really sick, boss. I can't make it. Then you're there with the drum and you're just going. I like that idea. I
I'm
like
wearing
that
a
idea a lot.
face mask. You won't know it's me. No, that should be awesome. I'm
You'll have a Vader mask on.
Vader mask.
Oh, my God.
I'm
love
planning this out. No, I definitely want to head out in the bus. So mark the calendars. March 9th. That's gonna be a fun one. That is gonna be awesome. It's always a great time going on the bus to a game. Oh man, I'm so excited for that.
I didn't put this in
Zero
the menu.
Belucci.
I just want to bring it up. If it's not 2 Sockers overtimes from now, it'll be 3, where we finally get to reveal the Star Wars kits.
Oh,
this year.
finally! I just got to see them too. By
Guys,
the way.
oh my God.
Man, so good.
When you see Boris and you see the Keeper kit for Star Wars night, you're going to buy it. You're going to buy this kit.
We're making people
That's
go
all I can
broke,
say.
Craig.
Yeah, you're going to buy this kit. You're going to love this
Chucks.
kit. The ones the players are in are really, really good. We couldn't put the players in the Keeper kit. It's too good. It's too much. When
Yeah.
you see it, you'll understand. It's too much. We couldn't have a whole team of that running around. It had to be the Keeper, and it's sick. It's so sick. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Okay, media game. We're not
Yeah.
going to go. We're not going to go 40 minutes like they did on Two Balls and a Mic. The Apotheosis of Tony, one of the best titles in the history of Two Balls and a Mic. But courtesy of our friends Tony and Chiva, this is Chiva's GoPro that you are looking at right here for coverage of U.S. versus Mexico and the media game. And I'll tell you what, Jerry, as you know, there's an element of herding cats to the media game. We are not playing the audio of this.
Oh
right
my God,
now.
the audio for this. Go and watch it in the chat.
Oh my God.
This is going to be a way to get you to go to the Two Balls and a Mic channel. And thank you guys for putting this up. Go and listen to this audio. BJ.
The
BJ
hand
went
you see there gesticulating is Canadian BJ McPherson trying to get the Team USA completely riled up. There's about 16 F-bombs in there, so we could not air. I mean, I'm not sure who cursed more, Kirby Smart in his pregame talk to the Georgia Bulldogs or BJ McPherson in his pregame talk to the Team USA media game.
Seriously. Oh, my gosh.
It was so funny.
Even I covered my ears at one point. I'm like, oh my gosh. Dude, he didn't even let the coach talk. Anthony Medina was looking at him like, all right then. Like, let's go.
All right, now I got to give two more major shout outs, and one of them just popped up on the screen for a second. But so there's a lot of planning and preparation to put together something like a media game, right? You got to get all the people. You got to make sure that there's at least reasonably the same number of people on each side. You need to get jerseys for everybody. You need to get swag bags for everyone. You need to have a locker room. Blah, 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 blah. All of these things. It's time consuming. And I think it was Friday that we got to the end. We're like, yes, we've got the rosters. We've got the jerseys. We've got this. We've got that. And John Green said, oh, and who's going to be reffing the match? I'm like, what? I need to get a ref, too. They don't just have a ref. Like, the MASL doesn't provide a ref.
Wait, oops.
For the media game. Who would think? So, Vaso Vasic, who has worked behind the scenes at game days for the Sockers for years, Vaso volunteered to be our referee. And in the spirit of Shane Butler, disallowed a goal on each side.
Yeah, it did.
Ref show at Pechanga Arena. Ref show.
I told him after, I was like, what was that? He goes, hey, I did it for both sides. Okay. Like, oh my God, dude. Before the game.
He was right, too. He was right on both counts.
You know what he was. But here's the thing. He came up to a couple of, that was me with the phone. There's a couple of us that he asked before the game. He goes, who's more likely to get a red so I can just have it ready to go? I'm like, dude, if you're coming into this with that mentality, they're all in trouble. Like, oh no, this is bad.
So funny.
So this footage right here that you're seeing, I got to see Tony and Shiva kind of take some warm-ups before the game. And yeah, just go watch this whole video is fantastic. And I think you'll get to see some more footage of, man, Tony Sanchez. Let's talk about Tony for a bit. Like let's make his head get. No, you're right. Okay, let's talk about something else. He's probably he probably hates hearing about himself at this point because he's just hurt so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he probably hates it.
Yeah, due to his oversized modesty, Tony really doesn't want to hear anymore about how he absolutely made a spectacular diving save, had the one hand extended, how he probably made a better save to finish the game, completely selling out, dropping to the floor, diving drop, managed to get a deflection in there, and keeps the clean sheet in a 1-0 match. Incredible stuff. Great stuff by Tony. But there's another untold legend in this match that must be brought up. And that is the legend of Emo Brown.
Oh,
okay?
Yes.
Because
yes.
Quite famously, Steve Garcia, Emo Brown, scored, I think, 3 media games ago, right? It's a clip that they continue to run to this day on the Emo Brown podcast. This one's for the South Bay. Curse, curse. I
feel like it was even more like longer than that, but
it was. So last season when we had the media game, Steve Garcia. Wow, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Unbelievable. Steve Garcia, Emo Brown, agreed to be in the game, and then the morning of the media game, texted me and told me he caught COVID, right? And so Emo missed the game. And then this year he was so excited to be in the match, and then on Sunday morning, he texts me and says he doesn't have COVID, but his entire family has COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So, being a good human being, he didn't go to the match because he didn't want to give everyone COVID. So, we had no Emo Brown. And Mexico was going to be short 2 players. And it was going to be 12 versus 10. But it just so happened that a young man named Andres Jaime Mendez, who works in Utica, he is a San Diegan by nature and by upbringing, but he works in Utica, and he's actually done the color commentary for Utica City last season for a couple of matches. Andres was with me. He was just here. He's a San Diegan. He was in town. And Ray Biggs, the announcer for UCFC, had reached out a couple weeks earlier and said, hey, could Andres just kind of shadow you on Sunday, January 8th? He's going to be in town. Could he just come around and kind of hang around the booth and see what you do and see how you prepare? And I was like, of course, sure. So he came, and I told him this isn't a usual day for me because there's the media game, so I'm going to be in the media game locker room. So we were hanging in there, and I find out Emo's not going to be there. I find out another guy from Synthesis, Octavio, wasn't going to be there. And just completely joking, I was like, well, I don't know, Andres, do you want to play? And he's like, yeah, I do. I'd love to play. Now,
That's awesome.
He was in sweats, right? Everyone else had black shorts. He was in sweats. Everyone else had soccer shoes. He was wearing his Air Jordans that weren't even barely laced up.
Oh, man.
And Andres plays in the match wearing 3. So he's carrying the legacy of Emo Brown with him. And Andres scores the game's only goal.
Is he the one that scored it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is it coming up right here? I'm not sure. Oh, no.
I'm not sure if it's coming up.
No,
But
it's on the other side.
we were talking after the match. He was like, what an incredible day for me. I think his birthday was very recently. He's a Seahawks fan, and they won, and the Lions pulled it out. And then he scored a goal in a match that he wasn't even intending to play in.
Oh, my gosh. That's awesome.
Incredible stuff. So big shout out to Andres. For the second straight year, a late ringer decides the media game.
An unknown ringer shows up. It's the story.
It was Sal Zizzo last year. It was Andres Jaime Mendez this year.
Which I think Chivas still complains about that too. But, sorry.
Yeah, incredible
This
stuff.
is for
poor
fun,
Chiva.
okay? This is for fun, everybody. Poor Chiva.
Poor Chiva. Chiva was literally organizing another charity game on their show last night so he can have another opportunity to try and score on Tony.
You know what? But it's going to be
great
fun.
stuff.
I'm going to help him out with that. I think we got to be a part of it, Craig. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure.
Man, what a great media game. We could talk about it, honestly. It could be its own podcast. It really could. It just says something.
Hey, I'll just say, Tony, I volunteer. I will PA for you for that charity match.
Let's go.
I will PA for you for that charity match. I will provide my voice talent to that charity match if that helps get anyone in. So incredible stuff. All right, this is where we're going to wrap up. We always debut our cool new content first here on Soccer's Overtime. So as we head out here tonight, we'd like to share with you something that we've been that we worked on all the way back to our photo shoot day back in November, which is going to debut here and then on our YouTube channel, and we'll have a clip of it to run at the match during a timeout. And that is the infamous Whisper Challenge, popularized on the Jimmy Fallon Show over the last year. The concept is 2 people head-to-head. One person puts on a pair of headphones that completely blocks out their ability to hear anything. The other person has, almost like password, has a phrase, a word or phrase, and they just try to enunciate with their lips so the other person can guess what they're saying. We did this with Soccer's players, and we'd like to debut it for you now. A lot of fun here on Soccer's Overtime.
Do we want to do the full video? Because I honestly only uploaded the short clip because I want people to go check out the full clip on YouTube.
I think you should do the thing that you actually downloaded. I think that would be a good plan.
Okay. So you want to play the full thing?
No, you said you downloaded the short one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, do that. No, that's all right.
You get the
that
short one.
That makes you go to the YouTube.
Yeah, go to YouTube and see it. Actually, a lot of people have already gone on and seen it. So thank you all that are subscribed to our YouTube channel. But, okay, here we go.
¿Listo, perro? ¿Listo? Vamos, ya estoy. I can't hear nothing.
Do I have to whisper?
Blue card penalty.
¿Qué? Blue dot Maryland. 2-0.
I like chips with dip.
Ron Newman Cup.
Ron Newman Cup. Damn.
Dude, those guys, I like chips with dip is going to be the quote of the season. Here's the thing. I love this, Craig, because it shows, like, this is honestly them, the players being themselves. I don't think they didn't know what they were going to do until day of. And they enjoyed it. Afterwards, I asked every single one of them, like, hey, how'd you do? How do you feel? And I was like, that was fun. That was hilarious. And they enjoyed it. Go and watch the full 2.5 minutes of that on our YouTube channel now. If you haven't already, go and check that out after this show.
I think I need X to make a nice save at home so I could. I like chips with dip.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That would be a great save call. I like chips with dip. Incredible. All right, that wraps
dip design
show.
on the works.
Yes, let's do it. I love it. All right, it's been a long one. It's been a great one. We want to say thanks to everybody for hanging out here with us for almost 2 hours on Soccer's Overtime tonight. Don't forget, on Sunday, right here on this San Diego Soccer's channel, Tony and Chifa will be back with MASL 2 action. Shout out SD Soccer's 2. Got their first win over Turlock. I think it was 14-6. It was a big old score on Sunday afternoon. So Soccer's 2 back in action right here at 12 o'clock. You can watch that for free. You can go to the match for free, by the way. We were sharing some misinformation last week. No $10 charge. Nope. It is free, $0 to go to the Soccer's 2 match. So come on in at 12 o'clock if you were so inclined. Otherwise, 5 o'clock, gates open at 4, pet adoption at 3:30. If you get the kids clinic ticket, that's at 3 o'clock. So it's a full afternoon of fun. And at 5:05, Soccer's and Comets. And I like San Diego in this one. I think after last weekend, I think we're going to start to see this team round into form. Jerry, as always, my friend, incredible work.
Thank you, sir. And same to you, man. This is always fun. I love doing this on Tuesdays. I love being with everybody here. Please tell a friend, bring somebody new onto the show. Tuesdays at 5. You know that we're going to be here unless I have to go to Disneyland. So other than that, we're going to be here every Tuesday at 5 p.m. for you guys. Love you, Craig.
Appreciate it. Love you back. Love all of our great Soccer's fans. Want to say thanks to Erik Bergrud for joining us tonight. For Jerry Jimenez, I'm Craig Elston. Thanks to all of you. We'll see you Sunday at the arena. Until then, have a great week and go Sockers.